Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. The truth is, once you learn how to die, you learn how to live. Hi and welcome to the Book Lab. I'm Björn, and this is the place where we bring you the best book recommendations when it comes to philosophy, psychology, human nature and human potential. And today we're taking a closer look at Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This book is a memoir written by Mitch, and it talks about how he reconnects with his old sociology professor Morrie Schwartz after Morrie has been diagnosed with ALS. Totally terrible disease where the brain loses control over its muscles. You lose your ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually your ability to breathe. Despite the sickness, which is actually a death sentence, Morrie has kept his spirit intact. The book chronicles Mitch's weekly visits with Morrie, where Morrie imparts his unique insights on love, mortality, and the importance of living a meaningful life. Throughout the book, Morrie shares his wisdom and insights and philosophy on a wide range of topics, ranging from relationships to forgiveness to how to live a happy life. He becomes a mentor and friend of Mitch, and he helps him confront his own personal challenges and issues. Having ALS is like being trapped in your own body, watching helplessly as the muscles that help you move and do things just wither away. It's like being a prisoner in your own flesh. At first, Morrie resisted the dependency that comes with ALS as a disease. Quote, "I am an independent person, so my inclination was to fight all of this. Being helped from the car, having someone else dress me, I felt a little ashamed because our culture tells us that we should be ashamed if we can't wipe our own behind. But then I figured, forget what the culture says. I have ignored the culture for much of my life, and you know what? The strangest thing. I began to enjoy my dependency. I close my eyes and I soak it up. And it seems very familiar to me. It's like going back to being a child again." Morrie had done this for most of his life. He had discarded parts of the culture that he lived in that he didn't find useful and invented his own culture. And I think the lesson here is that we should do the same. If there are things in our culture that doesn't support what we think is the good life, then discard it. Let's build a new culture that allows people to strive and be happy. Quote, "So many people walk around with a meaningless life. They seem half asleep, even when they're busy doing things they think are important. This is because they're chasing the wrong things. The way you get meaning into your life is to devote yourself to loving others, devote yourself to your community around you, and devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning." Book Lab, in a way, has been an antidote to meaninglessness for me personally. By creating this community, sharing the books that I love, and inspiring people to read more books, because I truly believe that reading great books makes us better people, it has provided more meaning and purpose to my life, something that I didn't really get in my day job in the same way. Even though my work is fun and engaging, it didn't really provide a purpose beyond myself. And that's something that Book Lab does. It really brightens my day and provides purpose to my existence. One of Morrie's biggest regrets was that he held grudges from time to time, and on his dying bed he realized the futile nature of holding a grudge and jealousy. In the end, it was all fruitless and a waste of time. Holding a grudge and being jealous and being spiteful is in a way similar to drinking poison and expecting other people to die. Quote, "People are only mean when they're threatened, and that's what our culture does. That's what our economical system does to us. Even though we have jobs, we feel threatened because we are afraid of increased interest rates, layoffs, getting too old, a lot of different things." This quote, it reminded me of some great remarks that psychologist Erich Fromm does in the book Escape from Freedom. With the rise of capitalism, everyone was suddenly in competition with everyone else, and it was up to each individual to show his or her value. In capitalism, your feeling of selfhood relies on your usefulness in production. Capitalism might have freed the individual in one way, but looking at it from another view, it increased isolation and doubt. Tuesdays with Morrie is over 25 years old now, and it might have lost some of its original impact, especially to younger readers. Mitch talks about the futility of the rat race, how stuff like big cars, home and other material possessions matter little in the face of death. Morrie admits that he hasn't had a single thought about material things since he got sick. Yet so many of us work our asses off for the next shiny thing, literally wasting our life day by day until we grow a tumor and wonder where all our time went. I think this message struck a chord with people when this book came out and the baby boomer generation read this. It must have been a wake-up call. I think younger people today, to a larger extent, understand that working at a job that you hate in order to buy shit you don't need is a bad life strategy. We saw our parents do just that, and we swore to ourselves not to make the same mistake. On the other hand, Morrie's message about the importance of community, relationships and being connected with other people still strikes a chord with the reader. All in all, I think this book is worth reading. It's well written, it's quite short and to the point, and most importantly, it's a book that will have you look over your priorities in life. Since Tuesdays with Morrie is not a full home run, I want to recommend you a few books that are on a similar topic. But before that, please subscribe, like and share. It helps me reach more people. And by doing that, you won't miss any of the other reviews that I have coming up. First out, we have On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. This book is over 2000 years old and it's by the Stoic Seneca. It's an essay about the duration of life and how many people waste it. He says that life isn't short, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied but wasteful of it. This book is a book that I've reread several times. It's on my great books list as well. This is a list of all the best books that I've ever read. There's a link to the description to that list, and also individual reviews of all these books that I'm recommending. 2000 years old, it might sound like it's a hard book to read, but the Stoics are super accessible, and I'm surprised how relevant the information in this book is even 2000 years later. The second book that I want to recommend is The Denial of Death. It talks about the conflict in humans between our animalistic bodies and our brains that can imagine the most vivid things that are almost godlike, and the psychological impact that this has on how we live our life and how we relate to death. Humans are unique in that way because we know we're gonna die, but yet we don't feel like we're gonna die. Super interesting and complex book that I recommend everyone to read. This is also on my great books list. And of course, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, a wonderful memoir by Bronnie Ware. She worked as a caretaker for the dying, and in this work she noticed some common regrets that people had on their deathbed, and those regrets are covered in my full review of this book, and they give some great insights to how you can avoid falling into these traps yourself. It's a super good read, so check out that book as well. Link to the full reviews for all these books in the description, as I said, and next week I'm back with more book reviews, but until then, Björn out.